Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this collective reading. Here I am able to pick on to the energy of those divine feminines who have faced cheating by their divine counterpart or divine masculine. I mean, that's a label for sure, but we give this label for a reason. Though these divine masculines can also be in distorted energy, and it's also vice versa for divine feminines, also till they reach to that point where they're completely independent and they are able to mirror the opposite polarity energy also in a pure form. They also fall into the category of distorted feminines. So distorted feminines and distorted masculines are also having the potential, they possess the potential of becoming divine masculine and feminine. So that's the reason why we call them divine masculine, because that's their structure, DNA structure. But due to programming, sometimes, most of the times programming is the reason, and many a times it's because of mission work that they have chosen to do on planet earth. They choose to be in templates where some of their parts are distorted and they need to be corrected, they need to be upgraded to the correct version, the accurate version. So I am picking on to the energy of those divine feminines who no longer want to feel unworthy because of how their masculines, publicly or privately or in whichever way, they cheated on them and they betrayed them. And again, cheating is a very broad, like a very large subject. For some people, cheating can be seen as online stalking other men and women and talking to them in a way that's unappropriate. For some people, it could be breaking a marriage. For some people, it could be hiding friendships. For some people, it could be watching pornography. So, everybody has different ways of seeing cheating. And the experience differs from one person to another. And sometimes there's also a very psychological and very programming based reason for it, which comes from childhood upbringing. How you see your parents living with each other and how they see cheating or how they perceive fights and how they react in fights also has a big impact on the sensitive, empathetic child who is taking care of their parents. So, I can sense over here that the masculine, whatever they did, different types of masculines are popping up in the world, and we can also see it in the mainstream media now and on social media. How some really beautiful women got cheated on by their husbands, and some of those husbands and boyfriends had done massive things publicly, public display of love, PDA sort of love they had shown, like things like writing a book or giving expensive diamonds in proposals, having fancy weddings. And despite doing all those things, like some of the crazy things, they have broken the trust of their women, and the women had to publicly deal with those things. So for some people it could be a public thing, and for some people it could be a private thing, and some people maybe celebrities or rich or wealthy people. So if they separate, there are things that the divine feminine can get, like materialistically. But some cases the divine feminines are not getting anything from the split. In some cases, the divine feminines don't even split, but they have to live with that feeling or that pain or that burden. And because of this betrayal trauma, you can say, the divine feminines and masculines also, it's not like it's happening only to feminines. There are also very sensitive and empathetic, beautiful men out there who have witnessed the same thing from their female partners where they got cheated on or they got humiliated. So, on some level, on some degree, people have experienced this, and it's like a problem that Earth itself needs to go through. From healing perspective, Earth needs to go through healing so that men and women can respect each other's boundaries and appreciate love. Or men and women stop chasing love, stop becoming the pick me man or woman. And this divine masculine, basically, for a little bit of attention, he totally forgot about the feminine, how she would feel. And he was, I'm being shown that he was jealous of how the karmic, and the karmic obviously didn't treat him well. And again, as I said, it's different type of cheating for everyone. You cannot define cheating in the same format, in the same breath. In some cases, as I said, it could be an online thing, just an online thing. Maybe one person would say, oh, it's just an online thing, how can you call this cheating? Everybody is doing this nowadays. Who is not doing it? Anybody who's got an Instagram or a Facebook is doing it, liking someone else's photos, commenting on someone else's photos. For some people, even that can be seen. Following other people, random people, men and women, can also be seen as cheating. But for some people, this could be seen as a completely normal thing. So that's why I'm saying, let's not look at what has happened, let's just look at the core feeling. And the core feeling is that the feminine feels that he destroyed the relationship, and vice versa for masculine, for whom feminine destroyed the relationship. So I'm going to actually use the label of, I'll just say you, whosoever resonates with it, okay? So whosoever resonates with it, please take whatever you feel resonates with you and leave the rest behind. So, whosoever resonates with this channeling and collective reading, you feel that your man or woman destroyed the relationship and your value in such a short span of time for such a stupid thing. Even maybe your divine counterpart already realizes their mistake, they already realize it, and they probably have asked you for forgiveness, or they have even maybe begged you for attention again, the same kind of love again. In some cases, maybe they have not. In some cases, it's different. But for the person who's going through it, you don't want to feel unworthy anymore. You don't want to care for a man and woman, for a man or woman, the way you've done in the past so far. You don't want to love anybody the way you love this person anymore. Because for a little bit of attention, for a little bit of whatever they were getting from that thing, they made you go through feelings of jealousy, of feeling unworthy, of feeling like shit, basically betrayed, unlovable, unwanted, undesirable, rejected, and also pitted against someone who's vibrationally very low. So, what you have to actually do is, you got a life in front of you, you have to pay your bills, you need money to sustain your expenses, and you need to focus on how blessed you are. While actually, because of all this that they've done, you're focusing on how horribly you're feeling because of someone else. Maybe some of you are still emotionally or mentally, or even in some cases physically, codepending on the same person. You are maybe allowing them to hover around you, maybe in the same way because you got some things going on as a team, but you feel like it's a sham. You feel all the happy moments you spent with this person, they were all literally fake. They were not even real. This person is not even real. You thought so highly of this person, or it was your own projection. You sometimes fear that you may not be able to do things by yourself because maybe this person is trying to project to you that everything was just a misunderstanding, or everything was a big mistake. They made a mistake, they should be forgiven for it. And for some of you, not for everyone, not for everyone. So before you get triggered, listen to me carefully. For some of you, the worst part could be that you still want to be held and cared by the same person who destroyed you emotionally. But if the person comes near you to care for you or to hold you, you feel disgusted, disturbed, you're fighting with them, you're taunting them, you're reminding them of what they did, you're crying, maybe they're also crying, you're trying to ask them why did they do it, where did you lack, what did you not do for them, why weren't you good enough for them, why did they have to pit you against an against a person, because you're a spiritual person, you're doing inner work, it's not superiority thing, but you do feel that you are somebody's special person, you're important, then how would or how could they pit you against someone, any random person like that? And in some cases, I'm also being shown intuitively that the divine counterpart already is not interested in that karmic person. Like, they definitely are not into that person. They are they're loving towards only their masculine or feminine, but they made a mistake according to them, and they did not realize what they were doing, what they did, and maybe all of their realization is also happening because whosoever resonates with this is a very strong person, and 50% you are detached with them right now. And for some of you it could be 100% disassociation or detachment, for some of you it's 50%. So if we look at the trauma, this betrayal trauma, unworthiness, unlovable, uh, being unlovable kind of feeling, unwanted, with all this rejection, feeling shattered, feeling like you've been hit by a truck and getting out of balance, you have this tension in your body, you not feel like eating, you have body pain, all of that, this gut wrenching feeling you got even before this happened. All this has made you feel that marriages are fake, relationships between a man and women are fake, the romantic relationships are all fake. For some of you, men are sick and pathetic and horrible and selfish, and for some of you, you feel the same way for women. I mean, you feel this for the opposite sex. And even if they get a beautiful and dedicated, a godly man or woman, a fun relationship they have, they're still ready to corrupt it. Why? And you're thinking about even the worst scenarios. Maybe your scenario did not is not as worse as all the other worst scenarios you're looking at right now happening in the world or have happened in the history of relationships. And it makes you feel, and I can also feel, honestly speaking, it's not personal to men especially, but I do feel this is more, if you look at the weight, I see more men than women, more disloyal men than women. There's a feeling in this collective reading that why is a man disrespecting a woman who is taking care of his family, who's taking care of his life, who's supportive, just for a random vagina? I mean, a random genitalia. Okay? Why this amount of embarrassment a woman has to face? Yes, it's same for men also, but Earth is going through a major shift right now, and Earth is moving into the divine feminine energy. And this is the reason why we are seeing a lot of toxic patriarchy rules getting broken down. And this is good for men also because men are also suffering. It's not like men are not. So there's a lot of toxic patriarchy which has been witnessed all over the world in the last few years, in last few 500-700 years, maybe 1,000 years, more also. So this toxic patriarchy has corrupted relationships between men and women. Even if a woman or a man, let's say, has a good image, but why these cheaters are ready to let it all go for a little bit of momentary pleasure, a little bit of time pass, a little bit of attention coming from a very low vibration person? Or it's not to disrespect anyone, but just to say that anybody who's ready to be with someone just for a short span of time or for pleasure or for something materialistic is definitely not in high vibration, right? So most of these people are takers and not givers. They're simply hogging on to the other person's energy who's loyal. So these people are not loyal, they are not protective. And women and men are stupid to fall in love with such characters. Forgiveness is a great thing, but codependency is not. And I can sense what you need right now to feel safe is to know and to remember that it's God, it's Source, and it's your masters, if you have, who can make you feel whole and complete and not a man and woman. It may be sounding like a bitter truth, but this is a fact that you can be happy by yourself. You don't need a lying, conniving, cheating man or a woman in your life to get validation from. Whether you choose to continue living with them or whether you leave them, whether you give them another chance or whether they literally take that chance from you, maybe they change, maybe they let go of the bad habits, maybe they become a nicer, more sober person. But it all depends on you, because till the time you're not going to continue staying in codependent energies, they are not going to change. And codependent energy also requires you to cut down the mudslinging and the blame game. And here's the part that you're all going to listen to now, and it's going to help you a lot, even though for some of you it's going to be a little bit difficult to digest. So you just need God in your life. You need God energy, not a man woman energy to hold you up. You don't have to wait for anybody's messages or apology or their calls. You don't have to, you don't need their intimacy, sexual or physical or anything. You don't want to repeat the same story and be reminded of how unworthy you are because of the same person. Because it's also been shown to me intuitively that this is not the first time this person's breaking your trust. They've probably done it before also, and you forgave them, but they repeated it. It's a pattern for them. And some of them, as I'm being shown, are very regretful. This time, they actually regret it because you're actually moving on from that codependent energy. Part of you tried to get love from a limerence object by using a fantasy that they played in front of you or they offered to you or they gave to you that, look, I'm going to give this type of a relationship to you in future. It's not even there. It's just a promise. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to do it for you. And you believe them. So there's a lot of limerence energy I can pick onto, which comes from your upbringing as well. So this person did not just appear in your life randomly. They are mirroring your programming. They are in opposite polarity energy for a reason. You are seeing them, you tolerated them. We always tolerate people to the level of our own unworthiness. You were feeling unworthy already. That's why you attracted this person or their behavior pattern. Maybe they change. As I'm being shown in lots of your cases, this could be the one for you as well. Yeah, it might sound triggering, but for some of you, this could be the one, and this person is going to show you very big change, and they're going to be a very loyal, loving partner in future. But they also need to lose you to love you, to learn to love a new version of you. And you also need to grieve and leave this old version of you, which was getting cheated on, which was getting hurt by someone. For some of you, it's a public thing. They publicly disrespected you or publicly made you feel so bad. The scandal was public, and for some of you, it was totally private, just between you and this person inside a room. Some of you who gave them a chance maybe did it privately earlier and now they did it in a bigger way. For some of you, as I'm being shown, it's a repeated thing, like watching pornography. They told you they'll never do it again, but you've caught them doing it again.